Time with Jess. So yeah, let's talk about this Idaho 4 thing. Um, I don't mean to minimize it and call it a thing. It's not a thing. It's a huge quadruple. That's even hard to say. You know, like we're very used to, or and that's even sad, but we're very used to like a murder, a missing person, but a quadruple murder of 4 college students, one of them about to graduate, Keely Gonzalez. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. I do have trouble pronouncing her last name. No disrespect to her or her family, but Keely Goncalves. I think I have that right. Um, Either way, I just want to call her Kaylee G. Because I don't want to disrespect. So Kaylee G, you know, her family. Lauren Dellen is actually on the phone with me at the moment, and we've been just discussing this. And I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of things, the news conferences, all of the different stuff. What I think is disheartening is this: please do not expect that these police officers are going to solve this case in a week, 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months. The forensics alone. I know that there is rumor that things have come back. And let's be clear. Hi Tamara, how are you, love? Let's be clear. There are very few facts, like things that the law enforcement has confirmed. Very few facts. So there's tons of speculation, tons of it. There are people that 100% believe that Kaylee's recent ex-boyfriend Jack is fully to blame. There are people that believe the food truck guy is absolutely the guy. There are people that believe that there is just a random, slightly older gentleman or person. I don't want to say gentleman because this would not be a gentleman, but a person that committed this crime. Um, I There's nothing really that I have to offer that's new or anything like that. I feel like everybody's keeping up on what's going on. There's been people that have been sent to me through emails that I've looked at, just based off of Donna Serafina's reading. And it's funny because in my newsfeed right now, like there's tons and tons of psychic and tarot reader like stuff like coming across my newsfeed. And I think it's because there's not a lot of facts in this case. Tarot readers and psychics are kind of filling the gap in a weird way. But a lot of them, I've noticed like a common theme amongst them. Like there's tons of them that I'm not subscribed to, but I'm like, hey, I'll watch. Common theme is that they all keep talking about this anger. This person had crazy anger, just rage. Like this person just couldn't be satisfied, just anger. That was one of them. And then another thing that I thought was really strange is that quite a few of them said, like this is a guy, but I don't know why. Like I'm getting like this female energy. Like I don't know where this is coming from, but and a couple of them like speculated and said, could this be a woman? Or did they have an accomplice or things like that? Well, I'm here to tell you. This is going to sound weird, but we must consider all things of all things. Uh there's actually a transgender person that lives very very close to this, um that has uh a little bit of a scary record. And as of this year, as of December 1st of 2022, this person is presenting as a male, but back in March 31st of this year, This person was presenting as a female with very bright red hair. So I think that, if there was cameras, if that comes to light, if they put anything to light like that, and this person at that time was presenting as a male, and you see this guy like in the picture. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up. I should be able to send this to my email, and I should be able to pull these pictures up. I'm not gonna give it a name. Uh, just because, like, there's a lot of people that don't have anything to do with crimes, but they get like sucked into things. So I'm not gonna give his name, or give this person's name. I don't know what they're presenting as, so I'm not misgendering them. I just literally don't know as of today, like what they are presenting as. So, but I'm gonna send them both to my email, and then I'm gonna open it up and just take a look at what I'm really wanting to look at is the red hair because of Donna Serafina's reading. So I'm going to show my whole screen here. All right. Let me go on my email. When I'm annoyed, I talk in my Karen voice and annoy myself even more just because. Yeah, I do that. So I'm doing that right now. Venmo sending me something. I don't know what it is. No, my email is like, you can go to hell. I don't want to talk to you right now. All right, let me try to open up my email again. Yep. Share my whole damn screen. Okay, so this is the person. This person lives very close to the people. Okay, so the name that you're seeing at the bottom is not this person's name. So I'm keeping my word here that I am not showing this person's name because I'm not. What is highlighted, what is in the gray, is what you should be seeing. Oh, let me drop down this chat. I'm sorry, I didn't realize this chat was still up. Hang on. Sorry. No, not that. Jeez. All right, let me drop this down just for a second and bring him back up so it's clear to see. Okay, so yeah, this person. Is that as big? Okay. So yeah, I think that's as big as we're gonna get here. Yeah, definitely as big as we're gonna get. So this person here, I just want you to take notice of more of the appearance, presenting as a male for sure. I think we can see that. And then, and that was this person in December of this year, December 1st. But this is the same person um of March 31st of this year. So you see the very red hair. And Gloria, are you talking right now? Oh, because I can hear my YouTube echoing from you. But yeah, you can see this very red hair. And so, psychics are psychics, and tarot readers, tarot readers. But again, because there's not a lot of facts in this case, I feel like there's a lot of tarot readers like trying to fill in the gaps of things. And what I've noticed is that they just keep saying this similar thing, like, hey, this this seems like a male. This feels like a male, but I don't know. There's this weird female energy or whatever. And I don't think that anyone entertained the idea that this could be a transgender female. So giving off the vibe to maybe a reader or a psychic person or whatever that they're male, but they have this extreme, female energy. So could be. But Lauren Dell and I were talking about, the very real possibility that this very, very much could be an incel. If you've heard this word 1,000 times and you don't know what that word means, Glory, will you turn off YouTube in your background, please? No, I really do hear me. I can hear me through my phone. All right, okay. So I just cut off my own YouTube so I could just hear you. So I think that'll be better.
Yeah, and if somebody,
Well, thanks, Tamara. Hi, Thistle.
Transgender, they may not feel completely like they fit in either community. So that might kind of cause them to be incel because they're not really comfortable in either camp.
Well, let's be clear about what an incel is. It's an abbreviation. It's an abbreviated word that means involuntarily celibate. AKA, I feel outcasted from society. AKA, I feel like women do not want me. I can't get a woman. Pretty women are disgusting to me because I have no chance with them. Um, involuntarily celibate. Just that word alone is like enough to make a person angry, right? Like nobody wants me. I'm rejected all of the time. I'm telling you that there are actual groups. There are serious groups with incels, and they take it seriously. They take that stuff seriously. They get very in depth with their incelness, however you want to put it, but they do. And they don't. They really grow a hatred. They grow a hatred for women. They grow a hatred for people. So I really found that telling, just with the psychics and tarot readers that were coming across my feed randomly, that they all kept zeroing in on this unbridled anger, this unbridled hatred, this unbridled rawness. And well, I'm gonna agree because this is so abnormal. I was telling Glory earlier. I was like, I wish we had a database. If anybody ever wants to do this, I'll like give you a Bitcoin or something. But it's yeah, we should create a wiki where you can look up things because I told Glory, I was like, I would really like to know how many people have committed a quadruple murder and gotten away with it. Because I don't feel like those odds are really in your favor. I don't feel like those odds are very high.
No.
What do you think this person's gonna be caught, Glory?
I think so. I think there's a good chance that they've left their DNA behind.
Well, I think they did. Didn't they say they did?
I haven't heard all the reports, so it could be that
It's speculation.
But we had a case here in Salt Lake. Must be about 12 years ago now, or 13 years. The mother of one of my old school chums, and they lived around the corner from us, she was brutally murdered. They had the DNA, and they did a phenotype image, and they knew that his genetic makeup because of that, knew that he was mixed ethnicity and so forth, and so it was just like, well, someday chances are he's gonna get caught, and just about a month and a half shy of let's see, just over 1 month shy of the 10th anniversary, I was on Facebook, and I saw a little announcement from the
Oh my
television
God.
station.
Glory, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry to cut on this. This is so rude. Colleen, I swear to God, I was about to say, I don't know why. Every time I do freaking live streams, my lighter dies. You will hear my lighter flick 85 times on a live stream. Flick, 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 flick. I get so mad. I have 3 lighters sitting in front of me right now, Colleen. That's a terrible thing. I'm so sorry, Glory. Go ahead. But she said it, and I just had to. I had to say something. But okay. And before you go on, Tamara is saying, in my opinion, no way not to leave DNA. It's probably on the mix. Yes, I was trying to touch on this earlier. I was watching a show. Don't remember what it was, but it was a forensic person. And they were saying that basically you would think that this would be fairly easy, because you just find the one DNA that's not the 4 of them. But they were saying that the more DNA that gets mixed together, actually the harder it becomes to separate it, to find what is what.
Well, it's cross contaminated, so
Yeah, that was disheartening for me to hear. Glory, do you mind? And you don't have to, but I'm just asking. Would you mind? Dude, that's so funny, Colleen, that you said that. But what? Who? Just, and this is pure speculation, because again, there are so few facts in this case. There really are not a lot. Most things are speculation. But who do you think, if you're feeling comfortable saying it, pure speculation, of just at this time in your mind, who could have been the primary target and why?
well, they were talking about was it Maddie, who was the one who was nearly decapitated. I
Yeah.
would say that it was likely her because of that, unless she fought back, and that angered him. Um, but based on the amount of violence, I would say the one that received the worst of it. I mean, you look at Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. She was nearly decapitated, and I think she got it worse.
Well,
She
I'm
got
conflicted
more.
on that, because I have heard that about Maddie. It has not been confirmed, but I've heard that about her, and then I've also heard about Kaylee, that she got it the worst. So I'm confused.
Yeah, well, we don't know for sure, yeah, but it seems that one of them is, and it could be that you know things are confused because if somebody woke up, yeah, they're going to fight, and then they're probably going to get a lot worse because it's you know easier to kill a dead body than somebody who's fighting back. So
I'm telling you, I don't know why, and I could be so wrong. Because again, we really just don't know enough. to even actually speculate. So I don't even know if I should speculate. But just whatever I'm feeling right now is just I don't feel like Ethan and Zena. They're like I've seen people come up with timelines, and they've been very good actually with what has been released. But I don't feel like we can get very far if we don't know Ethan and Zena's timeline. And seemingly from at least 9 p.m. until the 1:45, we really just do not know what they were doing. We have no idea. None. So you can make a timeline with what's available, but there were two other people murdered, and it's unknown their whereabouts. Now that's been speculated on with that arrest that we were talking about, because apparently, before Zena and Ethan got hung, there was an alcohol related call called in, and it was reported. And I'm gonna tell you, this town has a way of not reporting things. This has been reported on quite a bit. I see that it's true. Like to report on a lot of stuff. And I feel like that's because it is definitely a college town. Like what Maddie's dad was saying about, I get it. You don't want this like this because, when rush comes, like he's basically saying the college is going to lose money, or you're not going to have kids wanting to come here. Now, listen, I'm not going to go after them for that, because quite frankly, what they are doing is providing your child or a person with a service. They're educating them. There's housing, but you must pay for it. So I can understand a place like being like, oh my God, this is really, really bad for business. But at the same time, you have 4 dead college students. Like, it's still unbelievable to me that Kaylee should have graduated this month. She should have her degree. And she doesn't. She doesn't have the degree. She, post-mortemly, yes, but not the way that she should. What, Glory? Well, I'm getting ready to play this video because what her dad says is just, it's relevant. It's just so relevant. Okay. Okay, I have no idea what that weird.
That's my thought.
I was gonna say I have no idea what the hell that is, Glory. I was like, what the hell is the video playing? Okay, let me do this. All right, drop the jobs. So here's the data. And I'm actually going to slow it down because I'm going to put the subtitles up so we can see it. And I'm going to put the playback speed as just a little slower, just so we can really hear him clearly. So here we go.
And welcome to this special edition of Cross Country in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight we are in front of the Moscow Police Department.
Can you guys see that?
You may be asking why. It's been about 3.
Glory, can you see that video?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Weeks since the horrific stabbing death of 4 college students at the University of Idaho. 3 weeks since we lost Zayna, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan. 3 weeks, and still the police have no suspect or person of interest. The community has been left in limbo, left with more confusion and more questions. We're on the hunt for answers for this. Moscow deserves answers. The students of the university deserve answers. These 4 young, innocent victims deserve answers, and so do their families. So let's start there. Joining me now on set, the parents of Kaylee Gonzalez, Christy and Steve Gonzalez. Thank y'all for being with me. You guys have been so transparent and strong for the public. Christy, you called the person that did this the boogeyman.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
It's literally like what nightmares are made of. Like when you're a little kid and you think of the boogeyman, that's just how I feel. Like that's just the horrific details of everything. Them just having a good time going home and going to bed, and that's happening to them. Just crawling in bed, and the boogeyman comes.
Knows what that's
The
like.
boogeyman doesn't, meet you at McDonald's. I mean, the boogeyman comes and snatches you out of your bedroom.
Steve, we've been talking. I've been talking to folks in the community. You said something that stuck with me. You said, until this person is caught, you can't sleep in your bed.
No. I can't just lay in my bed and do nothing. That's not the.
I just have to stop here because I so understand this man. Like I feel like I understand this man. I feel like if this happened to me, and all of my sympathies to her parents, but I feel like I would feel like him. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. Like I need to do something. And I understand his frustration. I really do. I really, really do.
The way I raised my family. That's not the way I raised my girls and my son. You don't be a victim. You stand up for yourself and you do everything in your power to make sure people hear you. Now they're gonna hear Kaylee. They're gonna hear Maddie. They're gonna hear these. Yes. I'm careful saying anything about them because I need to be careful because I can't speak on somebody else's child. But these 2 girls, I'm not trying to be a glory hound, but these 2 girls, I'm gonna do what I can do, and we're not being victims. We're gonna fight. We're gonna figure out how to make sure that we hold everybody, accountable, and we keep eyes and attention on this and get this thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. Recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. Where does that frustration come from, sir?
It puts certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen, and those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're gonna take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can.
Like again, I'm gonna stop him here. I just feel like I understand this dude. If I was a parent of one of these one of these students, I would probably be the same way. A little bit of pain in the ass. I'm sorry, but I just probably would not be able to help it. Like, we need to talk about this. I need to understand what's happening here. I'm not going to say anything, but you got to trust me that this is my child. I care about this person more than you ever will ever know. And I need to know. I would need to know. I feel like he's a person that needs to know and he wants answers. And because he's not getting them. And also, I'll say this. I'll say this in the defense of the police is that number one, this case is very early on compared to cases, again, quadruple murder. This is not going to be an overnight 5 week, 6 month process. We're probably looking at 2 years out at this point from trial, possibly 3. This is a huge murder trial, giant. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Glory. What were you saying?
Well, that's once the guy's been arrested, I'd expect the complexities of the case, it would be that long. Once we
Yes.
identify him, and it can take, I mean, the case could break tomorrow, or it could take 10 years.
It really can take a very long time. And I don't know that people fully understand that. Like with the Gabby Petito case, sadly, there was no trial. There was no anything of that. Brian Laundrie was truly never held accountable for what he did. He unalived himself. But there was no public accountability and what goes along with that with him. And that's just not how these cases go. They are long, they are tedious, they are tragic to watch. You, as a spectator, which we all are, will mourn with these people that we've never met and probably never will. But I'm disappointed, honestly, in the mainstream media. And Glorindellen, if you want to speak on this after I say what I want to say, I'm a little disappointed in the mainstream. Well, actually, a lot disappointed in the mainstream media because they're even acting like this. Why is there no answers? Da da da. Have you people? How many of you reporters are actually investigative journalists? Because if you were, I'm not an investigative journalist, but I just following true crime. I absolutely know that these cases are just. This case is not ever in a million years going to be solved, arrested, tried, and convicted in anything even resembling the course of a year. I promise you that in a case this big with this many homicides, you are absolutely looking at 2-3 years out for a trial. It is something that we will eventually most likely find out the culprit. And then after that, YouTubers like myself, Lauren Dellen, other people will periodically update when we see updates on this case until it goes to trial, sort of like what we do with the Vallow case. So but I will tell you, every case always hits me differently for different reasons. This case is crazy, especially tragic to me because unlike Kylie Rodney case, and not to take away from her, her life should not be over. But this was 100% a murder. These people's lives were taken from them. Each individual person had their own lives, their own things going on. These are young adults. They're all gone. And I think the most telling picture, really, Glory, I'm sure you saw this picture of their cars and when they were removed. It was just haunting for me. to see those 4 empty spaces where these people's cars should have been, but they were all gone, just like them. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I
Oh, I didn't say anything, but I was just thinking about how I was when I got my first car at 19, and I drove it for a month, and it had some issue with the throttle. The throttle would stick, and it would go 75 in third gear. I wouldn't put it into fourth gear because I was afraid and that was no foot on the gas pedal either. And the car just blew up the engine, and I was just so,
I think if you haven't blew up a car engine at least once in your life, like your dad hasn't got properly mad at you like they should, and you just didn't do your due diligence as a young dumbass. Because I did that. I blew up a car. I'm not gonna lie. My dad was very unhappy with me, and he definitely let me know that he thought I was absolutely a dumbass for that. And he wasn't going to hide that fact. And it turns out that I was in fact a dumbass for that, Glory. So, but let's get through this. We got way off topic. But yeah.
My point is, I'm sure that each one of those kids, was probably their first car too, and they were probably as excited and about their cars, and for.
I think these 4 young people had every reason in the world to be excited about a lot of things. They were really living, quote unquote, the American dream. They were young. They were attractive young people. They lived right there by Greek Row. They were all in fraternities. They worked. They had this decent house. There's tons of kids in this country that just do not get this opportunity. And I think that they were really living and had a bright future ahead of all of them, really. But let's get through this. Okay, I'm gonna start up again. All right.
But somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put word.
Okay, I had to stop there again. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. This goes back to me talking about the college. The college is the centerpiece. They bring in all the money for this entire town is reliant upon it. Again, it does not look good when you have these posters up all around town and there's these new potential, college recruits that come in and they see this. It doesn't feel like a safe area. And her dad, I got to give it to Kaylee's dad because he says it. He gets it. He sees what it is.
Rewards out there, like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush.
When you do your rush.
Get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something.
Some mail.
That was mail related. So,
you know what? I don't want him to sound ridiculous, so I'm just going to put this on normal speed. Actually, if it gets flagged, then it does. I don't really care. Actually, we can go a little higher. because I feel these parents. I really do. So
We're working with them. We're not selling them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here, we just have no information as family, and it gets tough day after day after day. I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day. We're gonna hear something, and you see these, oh, there's a break in the case, and it'll just be something stupid.
The sixth person on the list that was never there. Stop playing games. This is serious. These are people's lives, and this is the future of this community. There's gonna be 10,000, 15,000 kids that come into.
that just tells me that they're watching YouTube because I see those same videos. Like six roommate that wasn't there. I clicked on it. I didn't get through it. I was just like, no, this is not it. But yeah, I think they're definitely watching YouTube, obviously. So
This community next year, or they don't. So I'm serious.
I had the opportunity to speak to some of my sources, and I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse it back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't.
oops, sorry.
Tell who. We asked specifically, and they said we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw on the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yep.
Their means of death don't match.
Laddies.
Okay, that's like the line of the week because there's so much speculation. I know you guys know about the speculation, but there's tons of it of what exactly did he mean by that. Their manners of death didn't match. I've analyzed this. I've thought about this like 1,000 times. I'm thinking that he means that one of them was killed more brutally than the other. That it just didn't match. One was overkill. So I don't.
That could be because they were the target, or it could be because they woke up and they fought back. Now they were saying that she was a fighter. I mean, in terms of personality, not necessarily in terms of physicality, but if she woke up and the other person's in the process of getting killed, or they're attacking her, yeah, you're going to fight, hard, and a person who is awake and fighting back is going to have it worse probably than the ones who are not awake. So
But let's talk about how he says this, because he just goes straight in. I'll cut to the chase. Meaning, you know what? Let's screw all this roundabout talk. I'm just going to say it. The manners of death did not match. So that was his big statement, but it wasn't exactly clarified of whose manner of death didn't match, and in what manner did they not match. They were all killed by a knife, correct? Do you mean that there was overkill? If I was to interview him, that would be my first question. Sir, when you said that you will cut to the chase and that the manners of death did not match, did you mean that one of them was killed, stabbed way more than another? And if so, who would that person be? I don't know. This dad, I feel like he's a go-getter. I feel like he's the type of person that's like now. My daughter, like he said, he's very direct. I sent my daughter to college. She came back in a box. And, and then he gets really upset with, I paid for that. You cannot take this away from me. And so I feel very much that he feels like he's being silenced. And he's alluded to it. He has said it. He feels the reason that this is happening is because of this college. And I don't know. I think it's been estimated that they bring in like hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So to have that tampered with this quadruple murder is not something that they're going to want. And so he's basically saying throughout this, I get it. You're going to have all these kids here for Rust Week, but nobody is going to feel safe until something happens. So he's really speaking to the college. Like, don't hide this. Don't do this. Like, you have to see this. And here he is, just when somebody makes just a direct statement like this, I'll cut to the chase. AKA, I'm about to say some really real shit to you, and here's what it is. But what he says is just being analyzed and, in so many different ways. So we'll continue on.
And Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to go up the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need something up and beat.
He didn't have to go up the steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. Again, this to me, like, I'm this type of person. Maybe this is why I feel this man. Because I'm this type of person that would say, listen, we're gonna cut this bullshit. Because here's what it is. So he's basically saying, yes, they were targeted. This person did not need to go upstairs, but he did. Let's stop playing these games. Let's stop playing a who was targeted. Clearly, it was them. There was no reason. There was nothing upstairs for him to go for except them. There was nothing stolen. There was no sexual assault, but they were murdered. There was no reason for him to go upstairs. Let's stop playing these games. I feel like those words from Kylie's dad are extremely poignant and to the point, really. I don't even think you need to read between the lines of that. He really lays it out for you. Let's cut to the chase. He says that. Let's stop playing games here. He did not have to go upstairs, but apparently he did. And because he did, Maddie, graphic warning, allegedly, it has not been confirmed, but allegedly, Maddie was nearly decapitated. But there is also conflicting stories that Kaylee got it, quote unquote, the worst. I don't know which is true. I don't know. Because Kaylee's dad does get it correct. I don't know if it's on this interview, but he does say it in an interview that they're keeping a lot of things close to the vest. They are. They're going to. And I think this is.
I had a thought on that.
Okay.
As angry as he is, if he gets the idea that there's somebody that they might be looking at as a potential suspect, that they're afraid this guy might go off and take matters into his own hands, and they don't want to do that. So they may be, deliberately withholding more information than they ordinarily would. That's just kind of a vibe that I'm getting.
Well, I saw a person's comment. I don't remember whose stream it was on, yada yada. But somebody commented and said, and I have no idea who this commenter was, but they just said if Kaylee's dad understood why law enforcement was being so tight-lipped, so keeping everything to the vest, that he would probably stop talking. A lot of people attack that person and that comment, but I don't disagree. I don't disagree because it's true, but at the same time, the odd thing, the weird, wacky world of true crime sort of almost demands some type of AKA drama. So you have the parents kicking up this stir, and eventually it'll be seen as a bad thing because that's just the nature of this beast, which is incredibly sad. But they will do it enough. I believe Kaylee's parents will get this done. Hang on, Glory. Jim is calling in. Hang on.
Okay. No, I believe.
Glory? Okay, my phone's been really, really weird lately. Gordella? All right, I'm going to hang up and just call you back. But anyway, so actually, let's call Jim back and see what the hell. Gloria, I'll call you back in a sec.
Please leave your message for 22854617767. Sorry, mailbox is full. To send an SMS notification,
Lord
press
have mercy. Okay, you know what? So, I'm telling you, hear me out here. Something has been going on with my phone all day. It's been doing this. Anybody that's called me, it's dropped the calls. It's called other people. It's just like, I don't know. My phone is carry right now. Okay, it's just going ballistic. But either way, I'm gonna play this until my phone comes back on and we talk to some people.
An outfit, be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up those steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just gonna say it wasn't legal.
Their points of damage don't match. And then he Kaylee's dad's really challenging the community. Like, listen, somebody step up and do the right thing and say the right thing. Somebody be an alpha. Somebody do the manly thing. I don't want to be that guy. I will be that guy, but I don't want to be. This is what I'm hearing from him.
To me, I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. They taking that from me. If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bit.
Kimberly.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are we on?
We're on. What's up?
Oh, okay. Nothing. I just, I haven't dove too much into this case.
It's brutal.
I don't know. Well, you could just kind of, and I don't know anything, but I'm just going to shoot from the hip. They're going to find out that this was a guy that was from outside the country that's doing this. And let me tell you why. First of all, you can tell by the way the media is going. There was a girl that went missing in Iowa a couple years ago. She was running. They couldn't find her. She disappeared. Then they found her dead in a cornfield. People were all over it. They were up in arms. It turned out it was an illegal immigrant out of Mexico. He was in the country illegally, kidnapped her, killed her, put her back there. And then her family came to his defense, which was weird. It just totally killed the story.
Well, you're 50-50 here because some of the persons of interest that YouTube has declared, one of them has immediately left with his parents to Africa.
There you go. So here's the deal. You're going to see, because of the way that the media is, that there's certain networks that aren't even carrying this story because they know which way the wind blows.
Which they really should be. But this is about a university, though. Take note of that, Jim. I know you understand this.
Well, I went to a university. I was a full scholarship athlete. But let me tell you something about the university. First of all, I was shocked at how many students do you think go to that school?
There's a lot. A
12,600.
lot. I was going to say about 12, 13,000.
That's not a lot. There's 64,000 on Ohio State's campus. That's not a lot of kids.
Even so.
That's for a state college like UCLA's got 45,000. University of South Florida's got 38,000. 12,000 kids at a college campus is not a lot. But I'm gonna tell you something else that's interesting about Idaho State, because I have buddies that played college football there. They have a beautiful indoor facility. But I'll tell you this: in-state tuition, if you're from the state of Idaho, is $7,900. That's very inexpensive to go to a state college.
That's very low.
If you're out of state, it's almost 30,000.
Wow.
See, a lot of California people are moving to Montana, Idaho. They're getting out of these filthy democratic cities and states, these filthy places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, where homeless, crime, and they're taking their kids and they're moving to Idaho, South Dakota, Montana, and they're becoming residents there. So the parents are residents, and now some of the kids are starting to go there and go to college. Let me give you an example. When I was in college, one of the biggest spring break destinations was either Daytona Beach, Panama City, or Lake Havasu, Arizona. Now it's Jackson Hole, Wyoming. You would never think Wyoming's a spring break destination. It's the richest county and the richest city in the world, or excuse me, in the United States of America. A lot of these people in Idaho are going out. The out-of-state tuition money is huge for that school. So what I heard today from a buddy of mine that coaches up there, I'm not going to give his name. I got a buddy that coaches on that campus. Is that the school will not allow anybody, and I don't know if this has gone up, to put up a reward poster for information. Did you know that?
Yeah. Are you talking about this case? Or are you talking about another one? Yeah. No, the dad talks about that. He said that.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah,
so
he says that in this interview. He was like, I get it. He was like, you don't want to put up, you don't want us to put up posters because it might, affect your rush.
Right.
No, he really literally just calls it all the way out. But, reality is reality. Like I said, I'm not going to fully hate on the college, but you got to do the right thing here, dude. I understand that this is a business. They are teaching your children. They're giving them an education, a degree. You are going to pay for that. And so, the college is the centerpiece. Everything else around that centers around that. The college goes down, everything else goes down. So there's a lot of money that could be lost here. This is a quadruple murder, Jim.
Well, it's a quadruple murder, but let me give you a nickel's worth of free advice here on this. Was it on-campus housing they were killed in, or was it off-campus housing?
Off.
Oh, off-campus
right
housing.
off,
Okay.
though. Like, literally right off. Like, they were right there.
It's not now. If this was in the dorms,
they were on Greek Row, dude. They were on Greek Row. Come on.
But it's not housing. It's not the same thing.
No, they rented a private house, but I know how much
go.
they paid each individually every month. It was a little over $400, I think, a month that they each paid. These are college students. Kaylee, the one that's up on screen right now, she bought herself, not her parents. She works, she goes to school. She was graduating this month in December. She was going to be a teacher. She bought herself a brand new, well, not brand new, but brand new to her, Range Rover. Nice car. The only reason that she was at this freaking house was to come and show her best friend, Maddie, who she's been best friends with since she was... Okay, who's calling me from a restricted number?
You're asking me?
No, shall we? Just hang tight.
Yeah, might as well. Somebody just
yeah,
needs
let's
me.
do it. Hold on. Hello?
Idaho State has some huge titties.
What?
The fuck was that?
I don't know. Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
It's me? Are you talking to me?
No. The restricted hidden person. Listen, I don't have a problem with people being anonymous. Jim does. Jim hates it. I don't. But either way, say what you were going to say. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you know, it's sad
No,
to say, but
Jim, hold on. I'm not going to have any weird recordings of this. Restricted person. I don't know what else to call you. Can you please speak, please? Say something? Anything? Yep, dropping that call. Anyway, go ahead, Jim.
Well, I forget where I was at this whole thing, but I can tell you this. First of all, I mean, let's be honest here. She wasn't over there just to shit. Were they both killed in the same bed together?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You
I
have
haven't
to remember.
seen one
Okay,
picture.
number one.
Those two girls provocatively put together on almost every photo. They look like they're dating. So I don't think she was over there just to show
I'm
her
going to
off.
tell you this. Erica, who you were drilling, by the way, the other night. I made it private with the ridiculousness of that. But either way, Erica, my best friend of 25 years. I have absolutely gone to her house in her time of need where she was sad and lonely and all those yuck shit. And I have slept in her bed.
Sure.
I wasn't cuddling her. I wasn't doing anything ridiculous.
Right.
My own damn blanket. I slept there and I got up and, loved on her and I went home. Loved on her, meaning I gave her a hug and said, call me later.
Yeah.
Went home.
You weren't playing with her beef curtains or anything.
Yeah, no, nobody wanted the Arby's. So these young girls, they've been friends, from early childhood.
They were obliterated drunk, right?
No. Actually, crazily enough, there is video of them. They did go out to a club, I believe, but there's video of both of them, and this video is probably some of the clearest video I've ever seen. I mean, you can see them, you can see their facial stuff, you can see it all, and even from different angles. After this bar, they went to the food trucks to get some food and then go home. So you see them, you see Kaylee, the girl up on the screen. She's texting. She's all on her phone. Her best friend Maddie, who she's been best friends again, practically her whole damn life. She's just standing there. She's kind of doing her thing. She kind of whispers something to her. They laugh and whatever. You can tell they're just having a good time. Again, the only reason this girl came back, she was graduating this month, getting her college degree. She already had a job lined up in Texas, in Austin.
Great city, by the way.
Yeah, and she just bought herself a brand new Range Rover. Again, not 2022, but new to her. I'm not sure the year, but it was a nice car either way. So she was coming back to show her best friend of more a sister. Like, look, because she lived in that house with her. But again, she was graduating this month. She was done. She was moving on to different shit in her life. And that's why she was there. So, she's murdered. The best friend's murdered. The two other roommates are murdered. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of people that keep looking at her recent ex. That she dated on and off for, I don't know, speculation 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
High school sweethearts. And I'll tell you one thing. Jonathan Lee, Richards, whatever, JLR, he slowed it down. I saw it on the Celebration of Life video because the mom is scared that the killer's going to show up to her funeral, so they won't have a funeral for her. They're just doing a celebration of life. So they did that, and the recent ex-boyfriend showed up. He comes up on stage, dad's talking, and he walks up to, like the mom. The mom like comes over and meets him. She doesn't hug him, but he hugs her. But the entire time he's hugging her, he's like staring straight at the dad. Like, are you going to acknowledge me? Or are you going to, what's the look going to be? And the dad looks over at him, completely dismisses him, and is done, and moves the whole family off the fucking stage. But in contrast to that, and I really feel like it's the mother driving this, that he's completely exonerated. He's off the chart. He has nothing to do with this. But here's the dad saying, basically the guy had no reason to go up to the third floor. There's one reason he went up there: to kill them. He didn't sexually assault them. He murdered them. And also, because you always know the darker side of life. What do you know about incels?
That's when like a brother and sister fuck each other and stuff.
No, way off. Jim, are you serious? Don't disappoint me now. It's too late in the game for that.
Let me explain something to you, and this is some breaking information. We're hearing that Kurt Wadsworth was an adjunct professor at the college. Is that true?
Say it again.
Kurt Wadsworth was an adjunct professor at that college. Is that true?
I don't know. You tell me. You're having VIP shows with this guy. You tell me.
Here's the deal. First of all, if you believe, and listen, I don't want to hear everybody's the one time they all slept in a bed with another chick. Number two, you're going to find out that this thing has something to do with an illegal alien somewhere. Some illegal citizen.
I don't know why you're saying that. I don't know how you've come to this conclusion. Because nothing points to this.
A couple of weeks ago, it was a couple of months ago, I told you that Adventures with Purpose was a kitty fiddler, and you gave me shit. Do you really want to go against me on my crystal ball?
I do. I actually, for this case, I'm going to challenge the crystal ball.
You say there was some kid that's already beat feet back to fucking Africa?
He's white, Jim. His parents are just rich. They probably went on like a safari or something. They're definitely in South Africa if they're anywhere in Africa. You already know that. So no, yeah, he went on some kind of little, excursion with his family over there. Yeah. So no, we're talking about some families with a little bit of money, and these kids aren't wanting for anything really. This truly is a tragedy, because these kids, again, this girl's absolutely beautiful, and she also has intelligence. I don't know what else you want. Graduating to be a teacher, noble thing, doesn't pay a lot, but still noble. This month, she will not. She'll get that degree post-mortemly. But we gotta finish listening to this. Hold on.
But wait a second. Hey, real quick. Is Lauren Dellin in your chat real quick?
I don't know, because my whole screen's pulled up. I gotta call her back.
I thought I just saw her. Listen, tell her to get a hold of me. I had that conversation with the guy about.
I was trying to put you guys on together, but I don't know what happened.
My number's out there. She needs to give me a call. I want to know who Jim Brenner's attorney is. But I got to run here. I'll listen to you
it's Brady. It's Brady Stewart.
Is it still Brady Stewart?
I believe so.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. I'm going to listen off air. Thank you. God bless. Jim Terry, TV2 tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern. God bless.
All right, bye, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you, motherfuckers. Thank you.
Okay, we have to hang up. Anyway, so back to this.
Don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in a box, and I can speak on that.
I was also told from sources that are closer to investigation, because.
Stop right there just for a sec. I feel like what he said was out of anger, for sure. It was harsh. It was reality. Like the most tragic reality. Like you send your child to college and they come back in a box. I felt his anger. I felt his frustration. I felt his, I want to say so much right now. And like, just look at his face, please. Just zoom in, do whatever you have to do, but just look at this man's face. Look. You see it. You see it all over. You see the mom, like, I don't even know what's about to be said next. But this man, there is so much in here. I have a lot of heartfelt things for him.
There was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's. I mean, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know. I mean, we've heard so many different things, and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I mean, I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you have asked that, but we know that this is getting 3 weeks in, and it's starting to get. We don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all worry that at the end of this week that this case may be cold?
We're scared.
You tell me you don't want a photo up there with the reward offer and information. That kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story. I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong, and you officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I want to. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then you know the community. This is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So.
And just to touch on that, if you haven't seen that interview with him, he is actually an IT guy. That is his background. And again, obviously, what he's saying is true. You are talking about a college campus. Everything is digital. Tons of IT, tons of digital footprints. So he's focusing in on that, which I would expect him to with his background. I feel like this is a dad that feels like, yes, this can very much be solved and somebody needs to do something.
That's what we asked for. I hope like a DNA, family energy, if they could come out here and just start taking. This town is not that big. We can figure out this, and it might not be him.
Crime Time with Josh, what's up?
Yeah, it's Mr. X here. I got a theory.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's the theory?
Well, I don't know if you know who bought a rental property up in Troy, Idaho. Did you hear about this?
I did.
Oh, so you know how the layout of the state, how that section of the state's kind of narrow and small, and then you can go through that 8 where the Troy.
Yeah, it looks like a giant backwards Italy. But yeah.
Correct. Yeah, but anyway, so this rental property in Troy was just purchased by O.J. Simpson.
For what? Okay. End of the call. Back to our regular scheduled program.
It might be a family member. We have family all going to school together. You know, there's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We can find this guy just with volunteers.
Lineage companies where our
Put Idaho on the map.
Christy, Steve, we're going to stay on this case.
Thank you.
We're not going anywhere.
Thank you.
You guys have been candid with us. We keep asking questions. Any resource that we have available, our audience is praying for you guys. Thank y'all. It was big for you guys to come back to Moscow tonight. I know it took a lot of courage to do it, and I'm hoping we can get some answers for you. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
I'm just gonna shout out that reporter too. I need to find out his name. I really don't know his name. But I really like him. I just really like that man. He seems really genuine, passionate, all of those good things. So what is going on? What is going on in this chat? I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm looking at this chat in a hot minute, so I have no idea who's in here, what's going on. Mike McCormick, Tom Hanks, maybe. I have no idea what that means. All right, am I just hopping into you guys' like conversation? Jane Kelly Quinn. Maybe Ellie wants things under wraps as they want a suspect that went overseas to come back voluntarily. Yes. If we're talking about food truck guy, and there's been a lot of talk about this person. I for me, I didn't publicly cover the Kylie Rodney case a lot. I did a couple streams on her, but I watched a lot of things. And you try to learn from stuff. You see this in most cases where there's definitely guilty people, and then there's innocent people. And I know that the public is just like, you know what? Every stone unturned. And I feel that way as well. I really do. I have a whole like cold heart to that. Like every stone. I don't care. But at the end of the day, these are real people. This is their real lives. So, every person like myself can start sleuthing around and looking on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and start putting, little pieces together and like that. Um, I don't know. It's conflicting to me because yes, I'm a YouTuber. Yes, I'm a YouTuber that likes to talk about true crime. But in doing so, you know, you speculate a lot because again, especially in this case, we do not know a lot of facts. We don't. There's so many facts that are missing. So there's a lot of speculation. And with that comes talking about people. And if these people had nothing to do with this, as a person with a platform, creator, whatever the heck you want to call me, or people like me, you have an obligation. When something happens, if there's a break in the case, it was not the person you speculated on this giant video on, it got 10,000 views or something ridiculous. You have an obligation to go back and take that video. But a lot of people don't do that. And it's really a touchy, you know, there's, especially with active cases, because you're not law enforcement, you're not media, you're a different kind of media, self media, I guess. I don't really know a term for it, but you're not certified media, whatever that is. You're not any of these things. So when you speculate and you allow other people to speculate, it turns into something that is not as heinous as the crime, but a couple notches down from it. Just as bad. Ruining people's lives. Yes, Mike McCormick, like FedEx. You know what was really sad is that with Athena's case, Athena Strand, you know, I saw immediately the mom and the stepmom start to have a little to do. The mom started saying, what were you doing? You were watching my daughter. And I don't know. I mean, the stepmom said like she was missing for 20 minutes. 20 minutes? She's 7. You didn't know where she was for a full 20 minutes. I mean, like I have a 6-year-old. When she's in her room and she's doing her own thing and she's doing her thing in her room, like I know that. Why? Because her room is next to mine. So I know that. But if I don't hear her, I'm like, where are you at? What are you doing? Aubrey, where are you at? So I see why that happened, but it turns out that it was not either of these people. But just search YouTube and you're going to find a ton of videos about how the stepmom was to blame. She was guilty. Stop convicting people before you know things. You must stop doing that. We all must stop doing that. Myself, everyone must stop doing that. We could talk about it. Let's talk about, for instance, right now, Jack D, Kaylee's boyfriend. We'll talk about him again. I say again because I was talking about him with Lauren Dillon. I don't know if I've talked about him on this live stream. That is Kaylee's, the girl that I just showed, her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, recent ex-boyfriend. Let me see. So this would be him. This is Jack D. Oh wait, I don't think I'm sharing my screen. I need a back office. Why does nobody ever want to be my back office? Oh. Yep, nope, not sharing my screen. All right, hold up. Sorry. And there. So I hate that I have to click down, kill the whole screen, go back in, do it all over again. Super annoying. Anyway, all right. So yeah. So Jack D. Whatever that one's changed. This one. All right. Oh, that's really up close and personal. So yeah, here's Jack D and Kaylee. Wait, I don't think and I just think that I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be super judgmental of people's looks and things like that. I'm not Giselle. I'm not a supermodel or anything. But kind of like sometimes people mad, sometimes people don't. Um, there seems to be a mismatch here. But I have seen again, I'll reference JLR again. I've seen on JLR where Jack D here, Kaylee's recent ex-boyfriend, like I will say again, was like balancing things on his chin. So he's really good with like balancing things and physics and things like that. So he's a smart guy. And I have to say that I've always said to my oldest daughter, Callie, I was like, don't ever marry the best looking guy. You're a fool if you do that. You want to marry the guy that you can have a conversation with and that is intelligent. That's the guy you want. So, I feel like this is Jack D here. I really do. I feel like that's the kind of guy that he was. There's other pictures of him. There's other pictures of him in his sorority or fraternity rather. Um yeah, he just kind of looks like a really geeky guy. He just doesn't they don't seem to exactly fit. But then again, I don't know. Who am I to say what fits because well, I probably wouldn't look like that in a dress and I don't know that Tyler and his dad bod would look like that in a simple shirt and slacks. So, I can judge all day long, but yeah, they just yeah. So Jim, why are you still in here? I thought you were going to bed. This dude looks like a bit of a slow adult. He's not. No, he's actually pretty smart. So, Allie, that was high school or college? That's a good question, Al. I don't know. They dated throughout high school into college. So, but this picture, like her hair, the length of it, the color of it, the part of it, It doesn't really look far off from, the more recent pictures of everything. So I don't know. I don't think that ah I didn't mean for that to happen. Okay. Like, I mean, if you look at Kaylee and Maddie here, she doesn't look like her hair length and stuff doesn't look too far off. And I know that this picture of Maddie and Kaylee was very recent, within the last couple of months, easily. So this isn't a 6 month old, a year old picture. This picture very recent, within the last couple of months or shorter. So yeah, I think this picture, like I said, her and Jack, this guy in the picture with this blue shirt on, they were not broke up long. I want to say that I've heard varying accounts. I don't think anything has been concretely, said. He hasn't made a statement. His parents are saying that they do not want to speak in respect of Kaylee and her parents. I don't know how to take that. Um, like, in respect of Kaylee and her parents, we don't want to speak. So are you saying that you don't really have anything good to say? So out of respect, you're just not going to say anything at all? Because I would think, your son dated this person throughout high school into college, and you have nothing to say out of respect for them. I would think that if you liked her, you would just naturally say, hey, I'm going to say something about Kaylee, and it would be understood. But that's not the case. So, Laura Dellen, late teens is an awkward time for guys. They frequently don't look like their adult self. Okay, where are you? Well, you guys are in a whole different conversation. What are you guys talking about? Jim, must be an LDS thing. They were not Mormon, actually. I don't believe. Because if that girl is in LA, she would be dating someone like David Spade. Yeah, for sure. I'll agree with that. But I don't think they were Mormon. Don't think they were Mormon. So that makes it more interesting. And I think the most interesting thing about this case is that all four of the victims, none of them were sexually assaulted. No essay of anyone. No R word. No, none of that. There was no sexual assaults in this case. And that is, it really says a lot. These are the four victims. Okay, so I'm gonna blow this up a little bit and bring it down. So who we're seeing here, make sure you guys can see this. Hold on. Okay. So you see the four circled people. These are the four victims. But there were a total of 6 roommates. Okay. This person here, right to the left of Maddie, this is Dylan. She was on the first floor and survived. He did not kill her. But he went all the way up to the 3rd floor to kill. This is Kaylee. I think I called her Maddie. I'm sorry. This is Kaylee. This is Maddie. These two, again, there are pictures of them as very young girls, being best friends. And they're going to the same college. This is Ethan. Ethan was 20 years old. He was a part of a fraternity. I think it was Sigma Chi. This is his girlfriend, Zena, or Xana, as some people have called her. Her and Kaylee worked together at the same place and were also a part of the same sorority. This roommate, all the way over here, was not, she was away from the house out of town the night that this happened. So this picture, Kaylee apparently set this picture up. This picture was taken just days before they were killed. Babe, why are you awake? Oh, Queen of Hearts. Hey, how are you? I agree. It is just a family joke when we could not understand our siblings hooking up with someone we would never expect. Okay, you guys are talking about your own stuff. Yeah, but anyway, back to these victims, you guys. Babe, can you not come over and take over my chat, please? You know what's funny about Tyler? I'll beg Tyler. I'll be like, babe, can you co-host with me, please? Da da da. Like we could do this, and he's like, no, 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 no. But here he is, randomly. I have no idea. Definitely has work tomorrow. Apparently, he has woken up. Hi, babe. Oh, you're here.
Keep talking shit.
I am not talking shit.
You need to acknowledge Mr. X right here.
Oh, where's he at?
He's funny.
Oh, what is that? That's him.
No, look.
No, what is him?
Read it.
This is crazy. And by the way, this is X. I may enroll.
You gotta
okay, listen. Okay, this is ridiculous. I may enroll in that school because in dorks. What?
Because they're dorks.
Just keep reading. Because in dorks, like, are the pool of guys to choose from. I could take over that school in a week or two. The reason you laugh about that is because you're like that. So that's ridiculous. Please don't make me read comments like that anymore, babe. Oh, look, and Mr. X, I think, has something else to say to you, Tyler. X here again. My suggestion is to get Ty Corbin out there, and he will go through every mine. Or backwoods area and figure this out in 15 minutes. You know what, Mr. X, you keep on. You carry right on. I'm not gonna say anything. Hallie, I don't think so. Ask Jess. What are we asking? What are we asking, Glory? Honey Bear, I've seen on Twitter on YouTube. I thought the guy who was at the food truck that followed them was kicked out. Kicked out of where? Kicked out of where, just me? Is that what we're asking? I'm trying to rein this live back in after this strange bromance between Tyler and Mr. X. I don't know what's going on here. I'm lost. Lost in the sauce. Which I think we should have spaghetti for dinner tomorrow, babe. It sounds good. No one is missing though. What are you guys talking about? The name throws her off every time. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, back to the subjects at hand. You little tricksters, you little, you little shakers of people. You can tell that my words are running out because I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what to say. All right, so this picture haunts me. I really despise the killer for this picture. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'm going to try to blow it up.
Don't stop now, Mr. X. You gotta keep.
Stop, Tyler. Can you get out of my live stream, please?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Okay, well, bye. Listen, Mr. X, I'm gonna block you and Tyler.
Oh no, you're not.
Yes, I am. Okay,
I'll
I am
unblock.
trying to do a live stream here. So this picture really, really haunts me with the empty car spaces. So here was, I think, one of the first level, I believe, Dylan, but don't quote me, was this car. Right here was Maddie's brand new Range Rover that she brought to the home that she was moving out of. Again, graduating college, moving out, had a job lined up in Austin, Texas. Brand new car, brand new job, brand new life, degree in hand. She should have graduated this month. Right here, this empty parking space, the third one over, was Madison Morgan, the best friend of Kaylee. The sister, Madison, was an only child. Madison was not, or Kaylee was not, I'm sorry. And thank you. Kaylee's sisters, Kaylee's siblings, took Maddie in like one of their own. That has been said over and over and over and over and over again. Not that there was anything wrong with Madison's parents, but she was an only child. She had no siblings. And so, when her and Kaylee met, Madison had suddenly a lot of siblings, but Kaylee being her closest friend, and everything about these two, seeing these empty car spaces where their cars were, knowing that they, per Kaylee's father, they died in the same bed. Their bonds was spoken about by Dylan. Again, one of the first floor roommates that allegedly locked their door. And she described them as an inseparable duo. And so that right here, this empty spot was Ethan's. This is where Ethan's Jeep was. And then right behind him was Zena's vehicle. And as you can see over here on the right-hand side, the police vehicle, there, as far as I know, every day, there is, I haven't seen a day yet that a police vehicle has not been sitting right next to that house. What concerns me about that is just that, as we know, there are woods all back here. Let me back up. You can see it. Let me pull it in this way. So, all back here, there's woods. They look dense in the daylight, but when that gets dark, it's very dark. Can't see anything. I know that off to this side now, there's apartments, but the lights were not working. Now they're working. They have fixed them. There's video that they work now. So this is being lit up more. So we did see the forensic team down here at this bottom window. We saw them over here at this window. And then We have Kaylee's dad saying they came in through the back slider, second floor, or the window. Well, I don't believe they came in through the windows because both of these roommates have been, or the people in these rooms have been exonerated. Like, yeah, they're not being looked at as suspects. So I assume that yes, they came in through the back slider. There's been rumor that someone let Kaylee's dog out and didn't lock the back door. That's a lot of speculation. I feel, Kaylee had a balcony. She could have easily just went on the balcony and let her dog out and yikes, but whatever, it's outside. Either way, it's going onto the ground. So, they're I think that just the most telling thing about this is the brazen act of murdering 4 people. Like, I don't know how much I could possibly stress how insane that is. I mean, I think you guys realize that. Like, you're not stupid to this in any way. But it's incredibly up close, horrific, just brazen. I feel the person that did this confident, full of some type of hate. Whatever the hate is, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's targeted at Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Zena. I don't know. That information has not been released. I do feel like Kaylee's dad has alluded to it could possibly be Kaylee or Maddie, with him saying that he didn't have to go to the third floor. But he did. He did. He went up there. There was no other reason to go up there but their bedrooms. So I'm almost feeling like Kaylee's dad is feeling like yes, this was targeted either towards my daughter or Maddie. But either way, um, whoever is responsible, there is just looking at this house from the front, it's unappealing, right? I don't think it has a lot of curb appeal. The lights should have been on. I don't know if they were on that night. If they were on, that would be better. But if they were not on, I can see that this area would be crazy dark at night. But whoever did this, either way, there's no doubt in my mind. I've watched 2 former FBI profilers, and I think we should be clear on what profilers are. They're not the end all be all, but they are kind of smarter than, well, not kind of, they are. They're definitely smarter than, not smarter, but they are more knowledgeable and they have the schooling to identify things that people that have not had that schooling that can't identify things about people. But I think that I said in the beginning of the stream, I seen a lot of psychics saying there's a lot of rage and anger. I think they're correct. There's something that is just. I look at this house and I almost feel like The Shining on a small scale. Like it just feels really, really bad. Bad vibes. It made me sad actually when I seen the little vine wall that they had. I don't know if you guys seen that little vine wall. I don't know if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. They had like a little vine wall, and it said good vibes on it, and it's still there, and it's still up. But let me see. Maybe I don't have that. Actually, I can just send it to myself right now. We'll just go back to the house real quick. And there's something about this house, like I don't want to like kill the kill the value of the house or anything, but there's something about this house. I guess it was said that there used to be all males that lived here, but now it's not so much. Actually, all of the occupants that were on the lease were female. Ethan, in case you don't know, I'm sure you do, but for those of you that don't know, Ethan was not on the lease. He was not a recognized occupant of this house. He was visiting. He was staying over because his girlfriend Zena, or Xana, depending on who you ask, how you pronounce her name. It's spelled Xena, Xana. He was staying the night for her, with her. But it's quite telling how a person can overpower four people. Four. It's really chilling. Like I was like looking at all this. I was looking at this stone, you know. So take the snow away, climb up them. But again, I don't feel like this is a very good picture of the woods behind it. There's been people that have actually filmed right through there because it doesn't look like it. Actually, you know what? We're going to go to a different video right now. That's what we're about to do. I'm going to go to Chris McDonough's video because he did a very good video that helped really lay out the atmosphere of this case, which I thought was really interesting. It was not what I expected, honestly, because I've seen pictures like that, like just of the back of the house or the front of the house. But when you really get the layout of it, I like, oh, so this is right here, and this is right here, and this is the woods, like right there behind it. You get a completely different perspective. And Ethan's fraternity, like if you take Google Drive, take you like 5 minutes to get there or something. But if you walk, there's literally like a footpath walk. Some of it's even paved, okay? But you walk like literally straight from their backyard straight to Ethan's fraternity in maybe 2-3 minutes walking. So actually faster to walk than ride. I think that should say a lot. But hang on. I'm going to bring up the interview room, Chris McDonough. Because, yeah, he had a very interesting layout. Very interesting layout. Oh, where was this? I don't know if it was this video. Let me see if it's just the video. Sorry. Let me just check. I'm not sure. There's two of them, and I don't know which one it is. So before I pull it up, I'm just going to check it real quick. It's not this one.
In fact,
Okay, so let me go back. It's the other one. But I really did like this video a lot just because it really did show the layout of the place. And it just gave you a much better perspective of what everything was. I don't feel like this is it either. Hold on, let me see if he has another one. So I know he did that with Cooper and then his wife, but I thought there was another one where Chris McDonough just showed just showed the stuff. Checking, sorry, just looking. Oh, yes, this is the one. This was the first one. Okay. Yeah, I watched a lot of this. It was really good. Again, it just gave a bunch of insight, really, the layout of everything, like how it was all laid out. So sorry, Chris. Like I'm gonna skip like his whole intro. You go right to his channel and watch that if you want. But you guys should all know who he is. Oh, can you see my screen right now? All right, let's play it.
And so we're heading into Moscow, Idaho, and just super quick, we look at you facts. Population of Moscow is about 25,000 square mile area, so not huge, and it borders Washington State. In fact, just a few miles away in Pullman, Washington, is Washington State University, another college. So here we are.
go ahead.
No, we're just pulling. Obviously, we're closer into town. We're at a traffic light here. And Chris, what do you notice about the?
The first thing I want to point out to everybody is, hypothetically, if a suspect were to come into this community, immediately some of the first things we're going to see here is the availability of traffic cameras. Typically, those are run by the state because this is a state highway. This is the 95, and so that information would be available to the Idaho State Police coming in. All right. You can see that camera up there very clearly. Now, the reason we want to kind of give you a geographical understanding of what is going on around here, this is a very tight-knit community. It's very rural, lots of farms around this area. So we're kind of coming into the heart. So what does that tell us about a suspectology? Okay, the type of individual, and by the way, we're not going to talk about the psychology of that individual tonight. We're going to break that down tomorrow night. I have the Greg Cooper, you guys know, who's a dear friend of mine. He was also the former unit chief for the behavior science.
All right,
and he taught at Quantico. So Greg's coming on tomorrow night, so make sure you come back.
So literally on the right side is University of Idaho campus, and to the left you're looking at apartment complexes. That's all off campus, but you can see it's like literally a stone's throw. It's just a few yards, between campus and off campus.
So we're coming over the hill here, and this is when you're actually going to see the university on the right. So this is off-campus housing. This is not on the campus of Idaho State. So let's always remember that as well. So here you can see there's the sign. All right, now we're going to start moving into what I would consider a geographical importance for this particular crime. And the reason I say that is you can see, if it's a total off the 95 and into this neighborhood, it's not like someplace that just shows up. You have to, and you're going to see here, you've got to be pretty specific and or very comfortable with this particular geographic region here. Okay? So we'll get into that a little bit more here, why I'm saying that. So as you come down the street, to the left or to the right is the fraternity house, and then to the left, right?
Yeah.
That, go ahead.
And let me point this out on the right. So you see that blue, it's the Sigma Chi fraternity house. You can see that big green space, open field, it's their backyard. And now we're looking at Taylor Street right here, and you're going to see how close the girls' house was to this.
Yeah, and it's University of Idaho, not Idaho State. Thank you, Sergio, for catching my error on that. So I apologize to Idaho State. Sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go. So these are all houses around the main 1122. This is the streets where the Uber would have turned, or the friend who drove them home. It's a friend, apparently, and they've not released that individual's name. But this is the area. And you're going to see this kind of goes up and it dead ends. Okay? That's important to understand.
I started Jewel Dancer in 2011 when I was a teenager. I was going through a lot of changes with my body and feeling
Sorry. Back to Chris. Chris, back to you, please, sir. I did find this video very informative.
At about 1 o'clock. The house is about 2 o'clock now. It's on the right. I'm going to take you up to this apartment complex here. And on the other side.
Yeah, so hold on.
And it's important to point out all of this is off-campus housing.
Let's just back up just a second.
Here, and you're going to see the girls' apartment.
All right, hold on.
Oh no, I'm talking.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna see we're gonna right by the house and right to these apartments.
Okay. And then coming in here on the 95 from south, you can see almost immediately the A&W gas station there, and there are cameras at that location. And then this is the street that turns onto. This is Taylor, that takes us up into the neighborhood. Any thoughts on this in the general area?
Well, it's I mean, you guys can see it's there's not it's not densely populated. There's a lot of brush, but obviously we're close. So literally on the right side is University of Idaho campus, and to the left you're looking at complexes. That's all off campus. As you can see, it's like literally a stone's throw. It's just a few yards, between campus and off campus.
So we're coming over the hill here, and this is when you're actually going to see the university on the right. So this is off campus. This is not on the campus of Idaho State. So let's all remember that as well. So here you can see, there's the sign. All right, now we're going to start moving into what I would consider a geographical importance for this particular crime. And the reason I say that, as you can see, if it's a total off the 95 and into this neighborhood, it's not like someplace that just shows up. You have to, and you're going to see here, you've got to be pretty specific and or very comfortable with this particular geographic region here. Okay? So we'll get into that in a little bit more here, why I'm saying that. So as you come down the street, to the left or to the right is the fraternity house. Go ahead.
And let me point this out on the right. So you see that blue, it's the Sigma Chi fraternity house. You can see that big green space, open field, it's their backyard. And now we're looking at Taylor Street right here, and you're going to see how close the girls' house was to this.
Yeah, and it's University of Idaho, not Idaho State. Thank you, Sergio, for catching my error. So I apologize to Idaho State. Sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go.
I think this is where he says something a little crazy.
So these are all houses around the main 1122. This is the streets where the Uber would have turned, or the friend who drove them home. It's a friend, apparently, and they've not released that individual's name. But this is the area. And you're going to see this kind of goes up and it dead ends. Okay? That's important to understand. There's the house at about 1 o'clock. The house is about 2 o'clock now. It's on the right.
On the
I'm
right.
going to take you up.
There it
There's
is.
apartment
There's
complex
their
here.
vehicles. And
On the other
these
side.
these are these apartments.
And it's important to point out all of this is off-campus housing. You see this apartment complex here on the right. I'm sure you've seen it on the news many times. And all the other homes around 1122 King Street is all students. It's all student housing. They're private homes, but obviously they're rented out to the students.
Now, one thing here is if I were to keep going to the right, it would take me around to a parking lot that is behind 1122. Okay, so if I go to the right, it takes me behind the house, the target house. What I wanted to do is show you here to the left, this is ice. Okay, and I'm in a four-wheel drive truck, so I come in and I actually have to put into four-wheel drive to back out. So the weather that day is significant, especially at 3 o'clock to 6 a.m. In fact, it was icy fog, and I believe it was in the 20s. So that's significant in understanding not only the victimology and catching the type of clothing the victims are wearing, the girls, but also understanding what the suspect might be wearing and why that's so significant. And so I want to make sure everybody's on, target there. It's cold right there that evening. And you'll see where some of the cars were parked, where the snow had fallen when we were there. And by the way, this was Thanksgiving, so it was a ghost town right then, because most of the kids were home with their families. And I say kids because we have 4 children, and so I can do that. Don't beat me up on social media because I said that. Anyway, that's it. Any other thoughts on it while the car's pulling around?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody understands based on what we've explained that this is all like behind the house and the road. This is the dead end Chris had just mentioned. So if you we just drove past the house, you come up to this exact area. It's almost like a landing area. It's parking for. You can run the video, honey. It's parking for all this housing. And so what we're doing is you'll see he's turning around and then we park and then you'll see the vantage point from this area.
Yeah, like the house is really, really close to these apartments. So a lot of people.
A suspect takes that into consideration if there's a vehicle involved. That's a high risk. A high risk. On a lot of the doors, there was a whole bunch of other, tip lines. We interviewed a lot of folks in that.
And there's the house right there. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. Look at it. There's their vehicles still there. There's Kylie's Range Rover.
I'm showing this little street.
Maddie's car. Ethan's car. Santa's car.
I would come down this side
the
street.
police car.
And so one of
there's
the things
the
I wanted
house.
to understand was to get your position is what suspects see and what would the individual have been thinking. In this particular case, at the time, there were all kinds of cars parked along the right side of that road right there. That is an icy road going up that road, even the day we were there with the sun out.
Yeah,
so
I
now
know,
go
Glory.
back to the evening where it was 28, 29 degrees or whatever it was. It was below freezing. That road would have been icy or at least snowy, because if we look at some of the early photographs, you can see the line of cars that are there. And then simultaneously also recognize.
I mean, right back here,
okay.
this tree area is the scariest.
Let's just play it a little
Oops,
bit more
I didn't
so they
mean to do
can
that.
get a
Oops.
better perspective.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, that tree area is really, really bothersome.
To walk so I don't slip.
Right here. Okay, here's where we go back here. Because.
Those of you who live around ice and snow, even underneath those leaves.
And it's still so eerie to see their cars sitting right there.
Crime tape to the right. Notice it's off. Okay, there's a reason for that. Either they expanded the crime scene, or 2, they narrowed the crime scene into some type of physical evidence around the front of that building. So my initial thought was, walking up there is the approach to this building, to the rear and to the side, around to the front. Because you'll notice that tape, and we're going to go a little
That's
closer
going to be
that
my educated guess.
But that was the first thing that caught my attention walking up this.
Seems like a more predatory, natural entrance point,
on the other side. So somebody either
as opposed to in the front, especially if the lights were on.
And then they later expanded it, or are they looking for physical evidence around that part of the building?
And I'm going to have to stop it here. I know there's people that don't like Chris McDonough. Whatever, to each their own. I do want to note in this video, he does not ever cross this police tape. I think that was being said. It's just simply untrue. Here's the video here. I'm not a show for him. I don't talk to him. But I watched this whole video and he never went beyond the police tape. So there's that.
We'll talk a little bit deeper about this in a little bit. A lot of thoughts on this one. Karen, any thoughts?
If you're just joining us, this is the back view of the home. That's the deck. That'd be the third floor, and below it would be the second floor. And we're going to give you a better perspective here. You'll see.
I mean, just look at that. There's a car parked right there. It's so. What does it take to get down there and go right to that back door? It's such easy access. It shouldn't even. Something has to be done here. There has to be some type of barrier, something put up. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, actually, that we have to live in a world where we even have to do things like that. Like, people should just not do the wacky murdering 4 people at the same time thing. It's just crazy that we even have to do things like this. I don't know when we're gonna evolve. Hopefully soon, but anyway.
But again, we wanted to show the back of this home. It's woodsy. It is steep. Where the silver car is parked, that is typically filled with students' cars. But you've got a fair amount of woods, trees back there.
And I talked to the owner of this car right there, and he told me that he backs it in purposely because it gets so icy in that area back there that he pointed out some of the other cars, and you'll see it here in a couple seconds, that other students pull in, but they have a heck of a time trying to get out when it's icy and they start sliding down that hill. And so I asked him, what brought him to that thought process? He says, well, I back it up into this position so that I can just pull straight out. And I said, well, that's interesting that you're thinking ahead. And he said, yeah, my father is a retired homicide detective. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And we chatted it up a little bit, and he shared with me some insight in reference to the neighborhood and a variety of other things. But he was a very well-mannered young man who was going to school there, and he was pretty shaken up as well. He was sleeping that night, and like everybody else around there, a lot of them woke up to the commotion taking place. So we're going to do a deeper dive here in a couple of minutes because I think this area here, you'll see how the other cars are forward.
Yeah.
It's really important to understand from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. Look at where the house is.
Yeah, so this is a three-level home.
It's right there.
I see one comment in there about investigators looking out of the home to see what type of line of sight. That would be very important because of some things, and I'm going to point out a couple other things here for you. Obviously, if there is a voyeur of any way, shape, or form in this geographic region, then that line of sight becomes very significant.
Yeah, right there. Boom.
Now, the young man told me that the authorities had been up there the day before Thanksgiving.
I mean, look at that. Look at that line of sight. So exactly what he's talking about. I mean, you really, if you are some type of psychopath that has been fantasizing about something fixated on one of the people in the house, I really, at this point, there's so little known that I can't even speculate on who. I'm always drawn to Ethan for some reason. I know everyone is focused on the girls, but there's something about Ethan. I don't know what it is, but whatever. We'll see how this turns out. But this line of sight is just insane. It's right there. The parking lot. You could park there. It's dark. There's no lights. You can park there quietly. You can get out. You can see the house perfectly. There's no blinds. There's nothing going on. It's just.
And you can see I'm pretty high. It is very hilly. And when you add the dynamic of ice and snow, it becomes even more interesting when you start thinking about a suspectology. What type of individual would take such a high risk unless they had a confidence level in relationship to the environment.
Tamara, just to answer your question, Ethan wasn't found in the bed. Is that correct? I have heard. I do not know that it has been confirmed by law enforcement. As far as I know, it hasn't. But yes, there's been a lot of rumor that Ethan was found in the kitchen area, hallway kitchen area ish. So, but again, I can't say that that is absolute fact because law enforcement is really keeping a tight lip. And it's just something that I just want to say one more time. For a case this big, and this is huge, it's absolutely huge. These 4 students should be absolutely alive right now. For them to be dead, all killed in the same house with a knife, not even a gun, a knife. There is something crazy wrong. Okay, so it just how do I say, for people to be saying, why is there no suspect? Why is there nobody being arrested? We want justice now. Again, I'll just restate it. These types of cases do not get, this is not a TV show. I know you've probably heard this on other channels, but it's just facts. This is not a TV show. It will not be solved in 60 minutes, okay? Or 60 days or however long. For a case of this magnitude, you are looking at the very fastest possible a year. That's the fastest fast track ever. Realistically, again, you are looking at 2 to 3 years to see trial on this case. So it's horrific. Once the suspect is caught, and I do believe he will be. I know a lot of other people believe this person or persons will be caught. I also believe the same. With them immediately saying this is a messy crime scene, I don't believe that they were talking about the blood. I believe they were talking about the killer and how sloppy he was in not taking care to hide anything, because I think I'm not sure. Again, there's a lot of rumor, a lot of speculation in this case, not a lot of facts. I'm not sure. I think it is rumor, but I think that he left stuff behind. That the killer's DNA is known, but he's not in any database. Actually, no, I think this was reported on. Um, and that the killer, the DNA was collected. He hasn't been, put in the system for anything else. So they were going to go to genealogy, which is like ancestry trees and ancestry.com, things like that. There's a lot of people that put their DNA in there, and other cases have been solved like that, such as the Golden State Killer case. So I'm hoping that that is the case with this one. I kind of want to keep going with Chris. We're not going to watch his entire stream, but there's just a little bit more of this stream that I want to watch.
So I'm not going to talk about tonight's show. We're going to do that tomorrow again about the psychology and the type of perpetrator. I'm talking about tonight. I want to talk about what the perpetrator could processing in relationship to the geographical aspect of this thing, because that is critical to understand. And that's why this was titled "He's in the Neighborhood," or "He Knows the Neighborhood." And so, any thoughts before I keep moving, Karen?
No, I mean, this is just, again, the back perspective. I was really surprised when we pulled up. Everything we had seen on the news obviously is from the front to the side, but you'll see. I mean, we've got this tree is blocking it pretty well, but we were able to be on the driveway away from the crime tape and be able to give you even more of a perspective of what's going on. But I think it's so helpful just to see the whole house from all sides, and you guys can see and help decide. What's your thoughts about this case?
Yeah, we're not over the crime scene tape. We're not disturbing anything. Exterior light.
Now explain that. Are those? Those are on a neighboring house, correct?
Right. Right.
Not on 1122.
Correct.
There are no what appear to be cameras.
No cameras, one light, and one other light here.
Same over here. There's a light on this house. I'm not seeing any security cameras.
Okay, so I want to talk about a thought process here to share with everybody. There's a fence right there, and we're going to show that here in a second. But one of the things that we have to take into consideration is what's the visual that the suspect has to this residence pre-incident.
Yes.
Before the crime occurs. Because what we have to think about, this is an individual who is processing very clearly how they're going to get into this house, and they prepared themselves for it. So the thought process is, okay, well, what's the lighting situation? I would submit to you that the patio has those lights on it. They're still there, and they're still lit. It becomes a higher risk of entry through that door of being seen. And you're going to see, or we learned some things from one of the neighbors, tells us that, when they walk their dogs out there, and it seems to be a common practice for, those who have dogs in the neighborhood, that they would wear headlamps. And Karen, I think you have a headlamp, right?
What is Chris talking about here?
This is the headlamp type that a couple of neighbors told us that they wear walking their dogs because it's so pitch black out there.
We're gonna tell you why here in a minute, but I want to focus on this part of the suspectology and the geographical concept of why this terrain is so important and why it would be important potentially for point of entry and or at least point of coming in regress, coming into the scene, not necessarily coming from the front immediately, but maybe coming from the back. And here's where I'm going with this.
As you can see, I'm behind the house, and right there is the balcony to the back. This area is very interesting from a geographic standpoint. I mean, this is the back side of the house here.
Yeah, I feel like it's very interesting.
Here, but then it goes up into a really high hill. You have very difficult task because there's a chain link fence here as well for an individual to commit such a high profile situation and then flee up this area. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying I don't know if it's probable. Now, to the point of entry, this would be very easy to get into this residence from this part of the backyard.
I'm gonna stop Chris's video there, and thanks for that footage. I think that was really, really good. Just to see from those standpoints. But I really think that this killer potentially parked there. And I think Kaylee's dad did say that the second floor was the entry point, the slider, meaning the back door or a window. I am probably just going to side with the slider. Pure speculation again, but that's what I'm going to say. I'm getting really tired, you guys. How long have we been on? 2 hours. Oh, I'm so tired. Why do teen boys smell so damn gross? I have no idea. What are you guys talking about? Jim, have you hijacked, or Mr. X has hijacked my whole thing? Okay, I don't even know where this comment section is. I'm going to read some of you guys' comments, and then I'm going to get off because I am tired. Alley Cat, the neighbor Jeremy. Let's see what you're saying here. I think reference wearing a headlamp to walk his dog even. Oh my God. Do you want to talk about headlamps, really? Tyler, you want to chime in here? Tyler has I don't know what you want to call it, a flashlight attached to his hat. And I'm telling you that this person turns this on every chance he gets. He loves it. He uses it incessantly. Very annoying. Also annoyingly useful. Like I can complain about it, but it's actually useful. So, there's that. Queen of Hearts. Oh, yeah, it is 3 a.m. for me. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to sleep for a couple hours. I gotta be up in about 5 hours. So, Tyler, I bought a light and I can put it on any hat. Yes, babe. I'm very aware of your hat light. If anyone is looking for any kind of like little stocking stuffer for your husband, your boyfriend, fiance, whatever it is, don't do that. Don't give them a light that they can stick on any hat because they will. They will, and they'll blind you with it, and they'll think this is funny. It'll be a joke. It's not a joke. You'll get very tired of it. I promise you. Anyway, I'm hopping off, you guys. So yeah, I don't know. I am following this case. I wish I was a better editor and stuff. I was thinking about just putting together maybe like a 20-minute video on my phone and uploading and see how that goes. Because there's different things about this case that I want to focus on. Several different things. Again, I really do not have a clear suspect. I can see the case being made against Fruit Truck Guy. I can see the case being made against Jack D. I can see the case being made for a incel. I can see the case for all of these things in this crime. And that's why I think this killer, um, it feels very, and I don't want to give notoriety here, but it feels really reminiscent of the Zodiac killer. There's just some type of element of that, like confusion. Four of them. So that means you have four different people that could have been the target. You got to figure out who's the target. Again, we do not know Ethan and Xana's timeline. We don't know it. We don't. There has been nothing confirmed from 9 to 1:45 a.m. There was an alcohol disturbance called right near their house, right there, right there. We don't know if that was Ethan. We don't know. We also have Kaylee's father saying he didn't have to go to the third floor. Really feel like that was Kaylee's father saying this was targeted. This was against my daughter or Maddie, who he looks at as a daughter. And, this person did not have to go up to the third floor, but they did. So it's telling him something. I want to pull up this video of Steve before we hop off, because to me, again, it's just crazy telling. This is on JLR's channel. I don't think that he would have a problem with me playing this. I don't have any issues with him. But anyway, so I'm not sharing my screen, but I'm about to. I just want to pull him up real quick. Get through all this stuff. But he just condensed a video down into the celebration of life for Kaylee and Kaylee's father speaking. Jack, her current recent ex-boyfriend, coming onto the stage, the mother going over to him. But please notice that she didn't actually embrace him. She walked over to him. He embraced her. And the strangest thing is that the eye contact. He was majorly looking at Kaylee's father, seeing the mother, but looking dead at her dad. And Kaylee's dad's reaction just felt like, I'm watching you. Like, I don't like you. Like, there was something. There was something there. Jesus. Okay, JLR posts a lot of damn videos. I didn't know he posted this many videos. Where is this one at? 4 months ago. Where's his videos at? What? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm having issues. Where are your videos at, JLR? You have a crap ton of them. Is this the old channel? Does he have another channel? Does JLR have like multiple channels? I don't think so. No. Where? Jeez, where? Hello? Hey. I'm live. Oh,
I was gonna say, mute us for a second.
Hang on a sec. Alright, hold on. All right, sorry. Tyler, he was like, I think I found it. I was like, no. But it's JLR. Let's see. I found it on my phone. I'm watching it on my phone. So maybe maybe it has multiple channels. I don't know. Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. Oh, okay. Check. All right. Yeah. So this is the one. I found it. There it is. All right. So let me share my screen. And drop this chat down. Hide that message. And then we'll go here.
What do you think? Jack approaches the father while he's speaking. The mother goes up and hugs Jack.
Oops, I'm way
The
far ahead.
father
Okay, so
Looks like
this
Jack
video
just
is
turned
really
instant guilt.
crazy because I saw this and I felt like, oh my gosh, there's something very wrong here. Okay, let's just watch this. Let me speed JLR up a little bit. I don't want him to strike me, even though I don't think he will. I have no issue. Oh, I was already up. No issue with him. But anyway, all right, so here we go.
Jonathan Lee Bridges investigates Jack the Core. Jack the Core. Is he guilty? Does he have guilt? Let's talk about it. 4 college students brutally stabbed in a home during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, Moscow, Idaho. Police have made no arrests, haven't publicly identified any suspects. Let's talk about Jack the Core. Let's talk about Kaylee's family. Kaylee is one of the victims. So the other night at a celebration of life memorial, and shared their thoughts and their memories of the victims. Kudos to them. 3 of the 4 families were there. Kaylee's family spoke. But at the end of when Kaylee's dad was speaking, Jack the Core was on stage and made his approach towards Kaylee's family. And I want to share something with you right now. Check it out.
Please watch this body language. Look at Jack Decor staring at him. Okay, he's going to slow this down.
What do you think? Jack approaches the father while he's speaking. The mother goes up and hugs Jack. The father looks at Jack and just turns instantly away and then walks away from Jack, giving him the cold shoulder. That's what it seems like. But was it? Maybe the father was finishing up. He was nervous and he just didn't see Jack and realize it was really Jack in that moment, stage fright, and kind of just turned away. Or does the father think Jack is involved? I'm going to show it to you again, even in slower motion. Check it out.
Slower motion. Look at him staring at the dad. Look at the dad's face walking away. Come on, family.
You would think that if the father
I actually want to go back to that just one more time and just watch that one more little time. And I'm gonna slow it down even more. He has it slowed down quite a bit. Well, I don't want to put on a normal. Okay, so we'll slow it down a little bit more. It's gonna be really slow.
I don't know.
But please pay attention to Jack's eyes. He comes over to hug the mom, but he is just dead set staring at Kaylee's father. And Kaylee's father's face to me speaks 1,000 words. But what it says to me might not say it to you. So here we go.
Would think that if the father supported Jack, that there'd be some solidarity right there and a group hug to show, hey, we support Jack. The mother did it, but does the mother really support Jack? Was she just doing that out of kindness or to show front
Broken later
as a unified front? Get what I'm saying? That was very interesting to see. Jack was there, but Jack did not speak. Jack the Core, for some of you that don't know, was the boyfriend to the victim, Kaylee. I don't know what's going on there, but it looked kind of like odd to me that the father would turn his back on Jack. Remember, the father has been out there saying that he believes whoever did this is a male. And he's more or less saying that Kaylee, his daughter, got the worst of all the stabbings, got the worst from all the victims involved, the 4 victims. She got it the worst. Kaylee got it the worst. Was Jack the Core involved? I made videos about Jack the Core. Does he have an alibi that day? Has he been upfront, truthful, and honest? Where was Jack around the time November 13th, 2022, in the middle of the night, according to.
Okay, sorry. I thought he was going to slow it down again. I guess he's going to. So we're going to go back and we're just going to watch it again. Okay. I think it's right here. So there he is. Now, please just look at his eyes. Look at this. Just watch. He comes to hug the mom, but look at his eyes. Dead staring at Kaylee's dad. Kaylee's dad was speaking. Kaylee's dad looks over. Look, he's looking at like, okay, your hand is on my wife's shoulder. He's staring at him. Like, this eye contact really bothers me. I don't know why. I don't know what this is. It just feels not right. I'm not accusing this person because I have no idea what happened in this case. I don't. There's a lot. But either way, I just don't like that. But carrying on. Look at that. Look at when the dad finally makes eye contact with him. He never breaks his gauge. He never breaks it. And then here's the dad, and then watch the dad's rest of his reaction. Look at that face. If that's not a F you face, I don't know what is. Like, I feel like that's such an F you face. And then the Jack guy looking like, damn, that didn't work. And then here's
I don't
Dad.
know. You would think.
Like, calling everyone out. Let's go, fam. So, I don't know. I mean, it just seems really weird to me. I feel like there's so many possibilities, scenarios, and all of this of what it could be. Again, I feel like very real possibility. It's definitely someone that knows them or that they know. Very real possibility that there was a watcher. The Chris McDonough video with just the geographical location, just showing you that there's a back parking lot that you can literally look directly at the house. You could stand in those trees, walk down there, and be right at their back door. Again, there was rumors that the back door lock was broken. If that was true, crazy unfortunate. So do the strobe setting. What strobe setting, Allie? What are we talking about? Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the chat. All right. Well, I love you all. I'm going to end the stream. I will see you all later. Bye for now.